Alright guys and girls, welcome to another episode of Astral Auto Repairs. Can you dig it? Alright guys, check it out. Behind me I got a 2007 Ford Focus. And what me and Rick is going to do today is show you how to replace the left front hub and bearing. Coming up on Astral Auto Repairs. This channel is a member of the Astral Stars, which means we have a zero-tolerance policy against the harassment of others. Anybody who violates that policy will be banned. For further information, please visit www.theastralstars.com. Alright guys, first thing first, safety. First of all, gotta use our hydraulic jack the car up, set it up, and what's important is your jack stand. You make sure you have a jack stand up under the vehicle so the car does not fall on you. Now, check this out, guys. You're going to notice I have a piece of wood down here. Don't use no thin piece of wood. Use a nice thick. This one's about 3/4. That's a 3/4 inch plywood. Don't use the particle board. Particle board will fall right apart. The reason why I did that is because I'm on rocks and dirt. Without that wood being there serving as a good base, that jack stand can and will sink into the ground, and you be up under this and sink into the ground and fall on you, and then you can't finish watching my video. Then I'm gonna be upset. So make sure you have that. Also, while you got it, like you say, being that this vehicle is front wheel drive, which means the car is driven by the front wheels. If you have the front wheels off the ground, there is nothing stopping this vehicle from moving. So what you do is go inside and put on your emergency brakes. All right, get that done. Let's get ready to take this tire off, and we'll be right back. Alright guys, the first thing we're going to do is take off our tire. The tire held on by 4 19mm lug nuts, or you can use 3/4. On this one, it's missing one. You want to take note of that, just in case later on the customer say, hey, you took my lug nut. Why he would say it, I don't know, but they might say that. But, so what I got here is a 19mm deep 1/2 drive, and Rick brought his 20-volt Earthquake XT 1/2 drive gun. This thing is a monster. This is my first time using them. The only thing what sucks about this, you gotta hold it with 2 hands, because these things are heavy. Ugh. Dang it. Now let me stop playing. It does have some weight to it, but let me check this out now. You know what I noticed about this? Rick, did you do something in here? Because I noticed on all Harbor Freight tools, that little ring right here, right there, it makes it almost impossible to get the socket on.
Yeah, they left that on there so it'll hold it. But yeah, it's stopped.
Did you do something?
No, it's just the way it is.
Because that's cool. All right, guys, let's try this out. Let me see. Man, that thing got some little torque to it. Oh, that's pretty cool. I like it. Oh man, that's. Oh guys, before I loosen up that last one, check it out. This thing is wobbling all over the place. So that's why we're changing this. Alright, so let's get this tire off and we'll be right back. Alright guys, we got the tire off. The next thing we're gonna do is we gotta take loose our outer tie rod right here. So what you're gonna need is a 15mm deep socket 1/2 drive, and get your Earthquake XT. You wanna take off that nut down there. Now, guys, this part right here, a lot of guys will use what's called like a tuning fork. You put the fork right between there and you hit the fork in and it'll pop that joint out. The problem with that is you take a very good chance of damaging that boot right there, then the grease comes out and it's going to be all messed up. And this is a unit that doesn't have a grease fitting, so it's just going to have to replace the whole thing. So the method I'm going to teach you is called shock and awe. Check that out. Get you a nice size hammer, and what you want to do is hit the spindle right at this point right here. You hit it hard enough, not the threading, hit it hard enough right there, and it'll pop that thing right out of there. So, get it lined up, pop it right out. Take the nut that you took off, put it back up there so you don't lose that, and then we're going to move on to the next step. Be right back. Alright guys, we got the wheel turned all the way to the left. Next thing you're going to do, if your car has these, a lot of cars don't because people throw them out. on the top of each, on the top of the caliper and on the bottom, there's going to be these plugs. Just take your finger and pop them out. What it does is it keeps dirt and dust from the bolt on the inside. Now inside there is a 7mm hex bolt. What I'm going to be using is a 7mm hex socket with a 1-inch 3/8 drive extension, and I'm going to be using the big bill. Alright, so we're going to go in there, and I'm not going to hit the big bill at first. What I'm going to do is use it to loosen it, and then take it out. Alright, and then you're going to go down and do the bottom one as well. Alright, let's get that done, and we'll be right back. Alright guys, the next thing you do is take your caliper, walk your caliper out. Now your caliper might get stuck sometimes, so you may need a screwdriver. Take the screwdriver, wedge it between there, and pry it right out. Now, once you take your caliper off, do not let your caliper hang down onto this hose, or you will damage the hose internally. So what you want to do is get you a piece of mechanics wire. Take one end of the mechanics wire. You're going to have your strut assembly up here, your coil springs. Take it, wrap it around one of the coils. Take your caliper off. And use that same wire to hold that caliper into place. And you can see one of my bolts dropped out. So this is how the bolts are going to look. You can take the other one out if you want. Both of them are the same length. Alright, we'll be right back. Is one in?
Yeah.
See what happens when you break down the camera?
Oh well. You got a little bit of a learning curve.
You're supposed to be good at this, right?
Yeah. Started yesterday.
Guys, take your same 15mm deep with your cordless impact, and you're going to have two bolts right here. Two 15mm bolts right there. That's going to hold in the caliper bracket. So what you're going to do is take those two off. Both bolts are the same length, so you don't have to worry about confusing them. Take the caliper bracket off, and just so you don't use the bolts, stick the bolts back in there and set this to the side. And when you set this to the side, you're going to pull your rotor right off. Alright? We'll be right back. Alright guys, the next thing you're going to do is take you a 1 1/4 inch socket. I got a 1/2 inch drive. And you got to remove the axle nut right here. So we're going to grab our 1/2 inch drive earthquake. Remove the axle nut. That does take some torque in taking it off. So that just proves this thing is good. Alright, the next thing. Dang it. I just pushed the axle. Oh. You see that axle, Rick?
Mm. Bearings are off.
Wow. I hope the axle didn't wear out like that. Ugh. It's gonna need another axle. And I'm hoping it grounded up against something. Hopefully it did that, rubbed up against the bearing and not the spindle itself and wore out the spindle. We're going to see in a few minutes when we take it off. But let's get that done in a minute. Next thing we're going to do is we got our speed sensor right here, wheel speed sensor, and that's held on by an 8mm nut. So I got my 8mm deep 3/8 drive, and I got my cordless impact gun. And let's get that top nut out right there. And take notice that this sensor, let me take it out, you can see it better if it comes. Oh man. It's coming out, but slowly. There it is. Wow, I don't know if that thing is messed up or what, but it is cracked right there. So, I don't know, guys. It's like we're going down the rabbit hole here. Alright, let's put that back in, and we'll be right back. Alright guys, the next thing we're going to do is separate our lower ball joint from the spindle. Now this method, you do not use the shock and oar. It's going to be something different right here. Now the first thing you want to do is just to hold it in place, you're going to have a bolt right here. that's held on by T50 Torx. So I'm got me a 3/8 drive ratchet with a T50 Torx socket, and that's all I'm going to do is use this just to hold it, just to hold this in place. Cause what I'm going to do is turn it to the other side, and over here you have a 15mm nut that we're going to buzz that right off. And I'm using my 15mm deep, 1/2-inch drive. And as you can see, I'm trying to turn it, but the whole bolt is turning. That's where this comes in. So I'm just going to use this to hold this into place. Take that off, straighten it a little bit, pop that nut and bolt right out of there, the bolt out of there, put the nut back on it, put that to the side. Now, let me see what the best angle to get to this at. Around this side. Go around to this side. This spindle has an opening in it right there. You see that, Rick? Or? Mm-hmm. Now, if it's open enough, you could take your pry bar, stick your pry bar into the lower control arm. There's a hole back here. And you can, oh, okay, this one did pry down. Pry down, pull it apart. If it did not do that, what you would do is take you a chisel, stick the chisel between the opening right there, take a hammer, hit it a little bit, it'll spread that open, then you can take it apart. All right, we got that part done. You know what, guys? Let's pop this axle out some. See if we can get this axle completely out of there. Guys, yep, we're down the rabbit hole. This spindle did wear out some. Dang it. I gotta determine whether it's gonna affect it or not, but we'll do that. We'll get that done in a minute. The next thing we need to do, guys, is take you a 18mm deep, 18mm deep, 1/2-inch drive, and up here, we got our caliper hanging at. You're gonna see this bolt right here. That's gonna be the bolt to the spindle, connecting to the strut. So let's take that bolt out. And taking that bolt out, this is still not going to twist, but you got to twist it back and forth, wiggle it till it drops down from the spindle, from the strut. And as you can see right here, there's a little thing right here that lines it, so you can't really twist it if you want. But twist it back and forth, bring it down, and we got our spindle out. Now look at this spindle, guys. The bearing's all shot. But that right there is something I'm not sure whether we're going to be able to. And it actually made a lip right inside there. Dang, it bent the clip up and everything. What you suggest, Rick?
Off camera or on camera?
I guess your honest opinion.
He's going to need a new spindle. Because is the bearing going to seat properly back in there again?
Yeah, I believe the bearing, because this bearing is sitting way down there, so the bearing will sit in there.
You the man. I can't. I don't know.
You know, the thing is, you try to save people money, and you try to do the least as possible. But then we got to look at safety concern also. We're gonna check the new one. We're gonna see if it comes with a new clip. And I don't know. I got a feeling we're gonna end up doing the whole spindle, guys. We'll be right back. All right, guys, we talked it over. We looked in the box. The box does come with a new clip, new hub, new bearing, and we determined, being that the axle was messing this up, the axle does not usually touch this and grind up against this. So putting this back in would be a safe issue. We don't have nothing to worry about. So we're going to go ahead and continue with this, popping this whole thing out and putting the new one in. Let's get the press set up. Yeah, and we'll be right back. All right, guys, I basically got this set up. Guys, when you do something like this, again, safety is very important. Even though I got this thing wobbling like this up here, it's pretty much the best way I can get this thing and get it out. And what I got is a 1-inch socket with a 1/2 inch drive, 1.5 inch half-inch drive extension. And the first thing we need to do is pop the hub out. So I got this lined up with this, and what I'm going to do here is, now all your setup is going to be completely different. Your method is probably completely different. One thing is similar is the safety. So as I start pressing this down, of course you stand back just in case. So what I'm going to do is bring this whole setup over here and line it up right there. Bring this down till it just meets. A little bit more. Alright, and even though I can see there's a bend here, I'm gonna hope that it goes down. Okay. Stand back. I can see that already sliding back, but it is coming out. And comes apart, and bam, there it is. Now, guys, whenever you get this, let me show you this, the new kit the other guy got. Always get you a new hub. So he got him a kit with the new hub, the bearing, the clip, the axle nut, and a cap just in case it's not front wheel drive and just goes on the back. You don't have to worry about that. So we don't have to worry about that. So all that came apart, which is great. This is garbage. Throw it to the side. Get our spindle over here. And the next thing, and this sucks about this, guys, because one part comes out this way, but now we got to go over, get this clip out, and the bearings got to come out through this way. So let's show you, going to show you how to get this clip out, and we'll be right back. All right, guys, we got a pair of snap ring pliers here, and we're going to remove this snap ring right here. And what you do is they got two little holes inside there, and what we're going to do is get those holes in there and squeeze it together. That's not good. That is not good. And I'm going to end up breaking these things. You got to squeeze this together and get that out of there. And this is not moving. So what I got to do now, I don't know what they got to do, man. What the heck? I didn't sign up for this mess. We got to get something in here to try to pry this out, at least to get it loose enough where we can use our pliers. So let me grab a, wait a minute, a screwdriver, and what I'm going to do is stick the screwdriver in between here. Nope, that ain't going to work. Now if I had something inside here and be able to pry out, guys, let me set this on something more solid, and we'll be right back. Alright guys, I got me a little center punch here, and the idea is to put the punch into there. You see what I did, Rick?
Mm-mm.
That is not good. Alright. Alright, now we start worrying. We are now in DEFCON 3. And I messed up. I messed up royally. Because what I should have did, because it looks like it's beveled, use something to press down on that, push that down to try to even that out, and hopefully I can still salvage this. So we're going to set this up on the press and try to push down on everything. Be right back. Alright guys, we got it set up on the press, and I got a little adapter in there. Push this down as much as I can, and hopefully it flattens out that. Okay, let it sit for a second, then release it. It looked like it maybe went some. But now, how am I going to get this to... Let's try something again. I just ain't learning. Oh yeah, look at that. Yeah, buddy. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, buddy. So now, let's get our screwdriver. Where the heck I put the screwdriver at? Rick, what's the screwdriver? Rick! Alright guys, let me go get a screwdriver. Right back. Alright guys, so the plan here is to take the punch, pry it back enough where I can get the screwdriver back end of it. And bend that thing good, okay. Alright, it's coming out, but it's a slow process, so I'm not going to bore you with the gist of it, but we'll be right back. Alright guys, you can see I'm using 2 screwdrivers. I got 2 screwdrivers. Definitely got it. Coming out of there. It is out of there. Man. That was, boy, look at that pass. You can see the racer in there. The bearings all messed up, and wow, that thing's just shattered. Alright, the next thing we got to do is press the bearing out this way, which is a little bit easy. Well, now it's not. To get this out of here, what we got to do, first we got to bend this thing back into place. We got to get something to fit inside where the bearings went and push against there. So let's set this up on the press and we'll be right back. Alright guys, what I got here is my 45mm Pittsburgh 3/4 inch drive socket and 4-inch 3/4 inch extension. What I need to do is get down into there. And I already took my hammer and knocked out some of the sides, but it might not be enough. Because what I gotta do is get this socket, and it just fits just into there. Let me see something. Perfect. Socket got down in there. It's resting right up against that bearing. A little bit too small, but let's see if it pushes it out. All right, let's go over here to the vise, to the press.
Flashing red, I'm not sure what
It is?
Yeah.
Okay, we got enough time. All right, let's set this up. And let's try to bring this down. Battery's going dead on the camera, so I'm gonna try to hurry up and at least show you guys. It's starting to come out. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Something ain't right here. Alright guys, I'm gonna let this up and put a piece of something between here. We'll be right back. Alright guys, I got this piece of metal in here. And while I'm doing this, I'm definitely gonna stand back because I have no idea what's gonna happen. Bearing, the race is just falling apart. Holy cow. Okay, if you look inside here, guys, just really demolished this thing. And I still got a piece left in there. So now we gotta figure out a way of getting that out. Alright, we'll be right back. Alright guys, we still got part of this left in here. What I'm gonna use is a chisel. And I'm gonna try to go through this end and try to break the rest of that out of there. Which of course, okay. Now, if I can just, I can see a little lip in there. Oh yeah. Yeah, buddy, look at that. Now we have some little, I don't know what the heck. Looks like part of, we're gonna have to clean all that up, guys, because that's not gonna happen. All right, we'll be right back. All right, guys, what I got here is my little grinding wheel. Now I'm very careful. I see some edges in here. What I'm gonna do is just slightly go in here. And just clean it up, just like that. Everywhere where I feel there's a little ridge at or something. You definitely don't want to do a lot, because if you do too much, you're gonna make the opening's gonna be too big. The bearing's gonna wobble around like crazy. But that right there is perfect. All right, I'm gonna go around, Phil do the rest of it, and we'll be right back. All right, guys, we clean that up. Look at that, guys. If you didn't know no better, you swear I wouldn't got a brand spanking new one. No, let me stop. But guys, that came out perfect. The ridge, all the ridges are gone. You know, I got to just do a little bit towards here, at the top, a little bit. On the outside. Perfect. Guys, and when I'm doing this, I'm not stopping, I'm not going in one side. What I'm doing is starting it, and I'm working the drill around. So I get everywhere even. Look at that. That looks great, guys. Alright, let's get ready to get this new bearing and everything pressed in. We'll be right back. Alright, guys. Let's get our plate down. Let's get our spindle with the bearing. I'll set that in as flush as I can. And then I'm using, ow, son of a biscuit. That's a splinter. That's a metal splinters. Dang it. Ouch. Dang. Plastic gloves didn't work before. Dang. Okay, so the 50 mil. Now, if you got a bigger one, like a 52, will actually work better. Because this 50 is like really close, but it's the biggest one I got. And I'm gotta make sure that thing is perfectly centered to that bearing and to the shaft when it comes down. And I'm going to use this as a go-between. And how we doing on the battery, Rick?
No flashing red.
Okay. Bring this down. Okay. Guys, I got to make sure this thing is perfectly even and round and push this thing down evenly. All right. Okay, I can tell right now it leaned to the side a little bit. So let me go over, push it more. There. And as you can see, it's pushing it right down into place. Alright, let's get that thing down so it bottoms out, and we'll be right back.
Yep.
Alright guys, we got it all the way down. Now I'm going to release the pressure. And when I do that, guys, I got the pressure on it. I let it sit there for a few seconds to let it really set down in there. Now let's release it. And let's get a close look and see where our bearing is set. And as you can see, inside here, there's the ring, the gap where the ring sets in. And that is perfect. We can actually see it. So let's take this over to the back of the truck and put our snap ring in. We'll be right back. Alright guys, got a new snap ring. Let's get this thing set up. And guys, another thing is, right here, you got this little hole over here that where the wheel speed sensor comes in at. What you want to do is make sure the opening of the snap ring is right there, and that way this ring don't interfere with that sensor. Man, I am just good. Oh my goodness. And then we're going to do is just take a little screwdriver and a hammer and just tap it around in place to make sure that it did go in. And that is perfect, guys. Guys, if you're up to me at this point, I definitely got to give you a yeah, buddy. All right, let's get our new hub in. We'll be right back. All right, guys, the next thing we're going to do is press our hub into place. Now, in the center of this bearing, you want to make sure that you do not put nothing, try to press that hub in with nothing supporting the center part of this bearing, or you will push this bearing right out of here and mess this thing up. You do not want to do that. So what I got here is a 38mm socket, and you want to place it right in the center of that, right there. Keep it like that. Turn it over. Now if it moves out the way like that, that's okay. And just go to the top and just make sure that it's centered right into place just like that. And you probably still have to move it more to get it centered with the rod. Then you want to take your new hub, place it right in there, and of course this is just messed up here. Dang it. I'm gonna have to lower this down because I need to not only put this in there but have enough room to put something else in. Alright guys, let me lower this plate one time and set this up back up, and we'll be right back. All right, guys, we got it set up again. Bring this down, and when I bring it down, I want to make sure that this thing is going down evenly. Yeah, boy. Look at that go down. And you want to go down until it stops. Right? Let's bring that down and we'll be right back. Alright guys, we're down till it stops. And again, I like to push it down and leave it there for a few seconds. And I know this is perfect because check this out. I can take the spindle and move it around the bearing. So I know nothing's binding up anywhere. So let's release our pressure. Take this off, take this off, take it off, turn it around. And as you can see, let me bring this over to you guys. You can see the hub is right there. And what you want to do is make sure something's up against that. And also I made a mistake. This is a 41 millimeter that's going inside here. And I used a 38 millimeter inside here. Look at that, guys. Oh yeah. We are done. That is perfect. Alright, we'll be right back. Let's get this in here. So, we're going to put our strut right here. Put our spindle up. There's a piece right here that's using an alignment. Bring that up. Put your 18 millimeter bolt through there. Get that hand started by a few threads and then let it go. The next thing you do, grab your pry bar, and what you're going to do is, this is the opening back here I was telling you about. You know what? We're gonna actually hold this back. We're going to pull this back and put our axle in there. Make sure that's right. Then take our pry bar in between there, pry down on the lower control arm to get our lower ball joint, push out. Dang it. Make sure this thing's in. Push that back, line that up, and then once you get it lined up, and I'm having a hard time because you see the axle is not fully all the way in yet, so now it's in. Guys, if you want, you can throw that away. It's like a protector now. Look at half a bearing. Put this back on. Alright, get it lined up over there. Yeah, sometimes this thing can be a pain, especially when you got gnats going all in your face. Alright, here we go. And it'll pop into place. Then what you do is take your 50 Torx bolt, put it in there through the side, turn it, your 15 millimeter nut, just put that in there on the other side. Alright, we'll be right back. Alright guys, let's take our 15 millimeter deep, 1/2 inch drive, get our T50 Torx socket to hold the other side in place. Let's tighten up this bolt. Oops, tighten. Okay, turn it, get your 18 millimeter deep, 1/2 inch drive, tighten up the bolt at the top, and now we're gonna put our sensor in right now, but I really believe this sensor should be replaced, and at a later date we will change that. Let's get our sensor, set it in there. Put our 8 millimeter bolt on top. Get our little impact with our deep 8 millimeter socket, 3/8 drive. And then, guys, this is, don't go down and tighten this till it tries to stop, or you're going to shear that bolt, the head of that bolt right off. Just bring it down till it stops. That's it. There's not a lot of pressure on that. All right, let's get our rotor. No, matter of fact, guys, let's get our bolt for our axle. Not for our axle. We'll be right back. All right, we got our 1.25 inch socket, 1/2 inch drive. Till it stops. There it is. Gotta make sure there's no slack in it, nothing. Everything is great, guys. Nothing. All right, the next thing you're gonna do, get our caliper bracket with our 2 bolts. The head's on the 15mm. Get our rotor. Put our rotor on. Set the bracket into place. Take the 2 15mm bolts. Put them in. And take our 15mm deep. And we're going to tighten them up. Guys, matter of fact, let me show you something on this. Let me just bring this one in just a little bit. In case you don't have an impact gun or you're wondering how tight the tightness, I'll show you what I do, guys, in case you don't have a torque wrench. What you're going to do here is, I got a 15mm socket 3/8 drive, my 3/8 drive ratchet. When you're tightening these up, and on these bolts, because I know they're going to be pretty tight, you go down till you can't pretty much go no more, and then a little bit more. That's it. All right, let's get our new brake pads and all. Dang, those things. This thing is going to be a nightmare. Guys, I just noticed. Notice how this right here, notice how it's kind of beveled and right there. Then right here is straight. Then right here, look at that. That's actually worn out. That's actually worn out. So, you know, this guy, I'm definitely gonna let the customer know that yeah, we did save the spindle, but what I'm definitely gonna recommend here is, you know, going to the junkyard and get the whole spindle with everything. And actually, these aren't that expensive. Actually, get this brand new. Just get a new spindle and all. I'm definitely gonna recommend that. But right now, you do what you gotta do to make sure you go back and forth, get back and forth to work. So let's get our new brake pads over here, and we'll be right back.
Yep.
All right, guys. Guys, kind of messed up because as the brake pads go like this, and as they're gonna start sliding in. Right now, it's gonna be good because it's sliding in on this section. You guys be kidding, man! I had it propped up with the hood prop too.
Yeah.
This is gonna get to a point where because of this little lip right here, that going down that whatever you want to call it, step. This brake pad is going to get to that point, and now it won't be able to back up. So it's going to constantly be applying brakes. So this is definitely going to be a temporary fix because right now it's going to be sliding on the good edge. Yeah. All right, the Timmy towel method. You're not going to use it in this car because there's actually no fluid in here. So, is there any fluid down in there? Dang, as far as I can see.
Look like it.
This brake pedal got to be going to the floor or something. So, once we push back the pistons, which I'm about to show you, the fluid in the mass is going to come back up, but we ain't got to worry about it spilling out because there's nothing there. So, let's go over here. And next thing we're going to do is do the 007. Grab your Q-tip. Get your brake lubricant. That's crazy. And we're still going to apply it to where the brake pads slide at. Alright, so let's get that done and we'll be right back. Alright guys, take it off. Get our new brake pad. Squeeze it into the piston. And it's just like that. Bring the caliper down to into the caliper bracket. Now be careful, see how this hose is binding up? Make sure yours is not doing that. Bring it out like that. Bring it around, on to there. Get our two 7mm hex bolts. And you want to put them in and turn them by a couple of threads and make sure that they are lined up. And then, because if you try to tighten it up now, it'll probably cross-thread it. Alright, and let's get ready to tighten those up. We'll be right back. Alright guys, let's get over here. Tighten these up. Okay, pop your boot caps back on it. Now what this one didn't have, we take this post. This is why I like to get hard brake pads from Fisher Auto Parts, because they come with the hardware. We would have never known this thing was missing clips over here. So let's get these clips on it. Now on this side over here, you're going to see two holes into the caliper. So that goes right there. This one goes into there, and then you bring this back. Let's try to get it this way then. Get it that way. Lock it back into place. Just like that. And that keeps that caliper from rocking out. This is weird that it wasn't even like that. And what you want to take a little socket or something, just make sure that is in place. That job is done. As a matter of fact, let's get our two caps over here. Pop them back, dust caps, pop them back into place. And let's get ready to get our outer tie rod back in. We'll be right back. Alright guys, let's get the nut off of here. Put this up. Now tightening this up. Sometimes you can tighten this up and the whole joint inside will spin. If that happens, take your pry bar or something, put it up on the lower control arm and pick up on the bottom of the outer tie rod. This is going to hold pressure up in there till you get it tightened up. So look at our 15mm deep. Tighten it up, and this job is done, guys. Well, of course the rotor is going to finish. But let's get the tire bolts on. Then we're going to shake this tire like we did before to see the difference. So let's get our tire. And the reason why I'm showing you this, guys, because when you put your tire on, you want to make sure that you tighten your bolts up in a cross pattern. Reason being because sometimes a lot of rust builds up on the front of the rotor or in the back of the rim. And if you tighten up the tire going around in a circle, you might put it on crooked, it might not set right, and then you're going down the road and the car is shaking without you even applying the brakes, and you're going to think you did something wrong and you didn't. So what you got to do here is tighten it up on a cross pattern, so in that way you know what's going down. So again, I'm using a 19mm deep. You can use a 3/4 if you want, but I prefer using a 19. It's better. So what you want to do is start off by one, bring it in just to get that wheel where it's not moving. Then go to the other one, tighten it up, then go right across, tighten it up, then go over here, tighten it up, and then every one over here you can tighten it up. Then take the wheel. Look at that, guys. Perfect. That job is done. Yeah, boy. We are finished. But off camera, what me and Rick gonna do, we have to go over and put brakes pads on the other side, because it don't make no sense, because we know the other one's worn down anyway. But as far as this job is done and you're concerned, we're done. Alright, we'll be right back. Alright guys, we did the other side. Now next thing you want to do, guys, is even if you didn't do the other side, you got to do this. Put your cap back in, close it up, and you have to pump up your brake pedals, because if you don't, the moment you step on your brake pedal, you're not going to have none, and the car's going to go and hit somebody. And you definitely don't want to do that. So, this is what I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. Now, right there, you see the level of the brake pedal. Say if I just finished the brakes, I start the car up, put it in gear, I go to step on the brakes. Now, you know, usually you got to step on the brakes and put it in gear, but a lot of people, as soon as they tap on it, it's in gear, they're gone. So, first when you step on the brakes, look at that, guys. that thing is going to go right to the floor just like that, and this car is not going to stop. So what you got to do is pump the brake pedal up. Let it, and now it stops right there. Now you're good to go. Now, being that this brake fluid was really, really low in the beginning, now that I did that, you want to go out here, open the cap up, check the brake fluid level. Now I notice max is right there at that line, but I can pretty much see the fluid right there. So we are low. And if you're low, you want to look on the master or the cap, and this one says use only .3 brake fluid. So we got some .3 brake fluid. Sometimes this wire is like too short to get out of here, guys. If you want, you can disconnect this by pushing this tab in, down to the connector, and unplugging it so you don't pull the wires. And let's fill that up. We got some, dang, this is brand new. I ain't open this up yet. Fill that up to the level, to max, and you are done. Great job, guys. We will be right back.
Okay, this is a 2007 Ford Focus, and as you can see, the Postal Service is on loan to Timmy today.
That's right.
And
we hired somebody from the post office. We catch it because we can't find no help.
Yeah, that's true. They got plenty of good help down there. Anyway, we replaced the bearings, pressed them in, and on the spindle, and everything went exactly as planned. No hiccups at all. Yeah, right. Anyway, this is the next day, by the way.
That's right, from the last video.
Yeah, from the last video. Anyway, you know how it goes. If Astro can't repair it...
Oh, if you have any comments or questions...
Comments or questions, leave them down below.
Rick ain't new to this. You're not new to this channel, Rick.
Yeah, I look like Billy Bob up here. Don't sound like... Anyway, here at Astro Repairs, if we can't repair it, no one can.